Yo, what up, what up, what up? All praise to the Most High. Um, if you're on my Facebook, um, what up? Welcome, family. If you're on the page, yaking.com. If you checking out YouTube, it's Yaflow TV. If you're looking to do the donations or just to pay your tithes, working on a lot of things right now. If you check out the page, you kind of see what I'm talking about. When I'm saying I'm working on a lot of things, so right now I'm getting ready for basically getting ready for the events and stuff like that. So right now that's pretty much like my focus at this point, in doing so. So here we have. We always have you ever found yourself as soon as you say God tell you, inspire you to do something, or like I look at things from a life standpoint. So it's even the thoughts. So one of the most common things at the beginning of the year, we always are saying I'm gonna do this year different from last year, and then it's you're bombarded, you're fought on every hand. So or you just trying to get things off the ground. That's one of the things. So I went to 2 Corinthians 10 verse 5 and 6, and when I went there, it just more or less pinpointed me to where it's saying in 5, this is the NIV, I believe. We demolish arguments and every pretensions that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ, and we will be ready to punish every act of disobedience once your obedience is complete. So this kind of falls hand in hand with and kind of backs up Joshua 1 and 8 and 9 that I discussed earlier. So I'm gonna scroll to it real quick. But a lot of times God tells us to do things and we don't know, he just give us to do it. Sometimes we don't get we don't always get the exact, seeming like we don't always get the exact information of what to do, how to do it. Then when you go to talk to different people, you got things going on where they act like they don't know what you're talking about, but they know exactly what you're talking about, and then they we have a lot of things going that goes on. Definitely not shooting shade, but just telling the truth and shaming the devil. There's a lot of things that go on because of, some want to say survival, but rather it's we're a nation of people. We was designed to be a people that works together, a people that strives together. And so people that work together, people that strive together. So in Joshua 1 and 8 through 9, to back that up, it says, keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So when you read that and then go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5 through 6, it's simply like backing it up as it's letting you know you're gonna deal with a fight. You're gonna deal with a little bit of something, but God always give us what we need to surpass the problem, to surpass the move the mountain, so to speak. So when you're there, it's just we demolish arguments, because God is not He's not about confusion. He's not about discord. Like, if it's confusion coming in, that's something else. If it's arguing, fussing, fighting, or any of that, that's something else. So, like, you have to, what we speak out our mouth is born. So we have to, we have to demolish it. So we have to demolish the argument. So we got to consciously understand when something, like, if there's a disagreement, then, like, you should be able to always meet and have a good understanding and talk things out, work things out. And every pretentious that set itself up against the knowledge of God. You have a lot of things that goes on because there's so much in information. There's so much in, like, just people wanting to be authentic, period, by itself. Just wanting to be authentic, wanting to be authentic, wanting to be just who God has made them to be, just period, like, by itself. Like, so there's so many people that's offering these gifts up to God, and they may have a large following. So then you have, like, that's pretty much what makes up the body of Christ, or the body of God. That makes up the whole body, or the house rather. So, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. To make it obedient to Christ. And we will be ready to punish every act of disobedience once your obedience is complete. And then just to go to 7, it say, you are judging by appearance. If anyone is confident that they belong to Christ, they should consider again that we belong to Christ just as much as they do. So sometimes we judging a book by its cover, like how a person look, how a person smell, and it's like, sometimes it's funny to me because if we got the money, or we got the means, or we got the system, or whatever we have, that we can, okay, God, you know what I'm saying? God provides for us. So it's like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. We really not supposed to want, because the Lord is our shepherd. So we got so much going on, we got so much money, we got so much of everything, that it's like, you should be taking them in, teaching them, developing them, putting them out, sending them out. But you got some people that's doing that way, but it's like, we get caught up in other things, and we're talking about people. We're talking bad about people. So, like, we kind of, like, in some areas, keeping bad company. So there are some areas, like, when God's talking about, hey, even the righteous is scarcely making it in, because their works is like filthy rags in some areas. So what it's really saying is, like with me, when I look at things, I'm like, I'm not perfect. I'm striving to be. Even if I have, like, you're gonna have certain gifts, doesn't matter. I'm still striving to be. Even, like, if I ever reach perfection, I'm still striving to be. You gotta stay teachable. You gotta stay You gotta stay on a learning curve. You can never get to a point where I know everything. Like, one of the things, like, I grew up around, like, a rural area and different things of that nature. So it's like, one of the things, like, one of the things, if I was to change, the first thing I would change would be stop telling your children or stop telling your people, you got to go through what I went through. No, you do not. That's the whole point of having a nation. That's the whole point of having elders. That's the whole point of having a team. That's the whole point. Even if you're talking about gangs, that's the whole point of having a gang. The whole point of having these things in place and these elders have went through it is for them to teach us, tell us, and then we to move forward. To keep moving forward, help each other to the next level. Then we get to a plateau. Once you build a plateau, then now you got your foundation is on this plateau. Everybody's up here. So now we don't have to worry about what we gonna do, how we gonna do this. Like, we are what we speak out our mouth. You know what I'm saying? So what we say out our mouth is born. So you have to, like, don't make it hard for your children where they have to bind and rebuke the curses. They got to go in and talk to God, find out what curses was said was said against, like, the forefathers, the fathers before the fathers. And, you know what I'm saying, you got to go in and break the generational curses. And, like, you're supposed to bless your family. Like, you lead them something, like, you leading them into life more abundantly. You're carrying them into life to life more abundantly. You're not trying to carry out, you know what I'm saying, this or trying to carry out that. Your focus is, this is what we doing, this is how we doing it, this is how we working. You get what I'm saying? But so many times, man, like, I used to hear, you gotta go through what I went through. Then what was the point of you going through it? For you to teach me anything, like, for you to teach me better, for you to teach me how to get past certain things. I thought that was the point. That's why, like, you always want your children you always want your children to be better than you are. You always want your children to see you. If you're a coach, then you want somebody to succeed you. If you're an athlete and you pick a successor, you want that successor to be successful in breaking your record, or, like, breaking whatever the record is. Or if you working with people, you want those people to be in the same realm. You want to be dealing with people that's either at the top, or you pushing them. You want to be known for, like, growth. You want to be known for the, like, he got a green thumb, like he make everything grow. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what you want. But there's times when we, you know what I'm saying, when we dealing with ministry and we, you know what I'm saying, I'm in the area of ministry because Byzantine Empire, that's God's kingdom. So that's the kingdom of God. So that's God over the nation of people. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one nation under God. That's the God over the people. So it changes a lot of things that was normal. Like, that's, like, it's not going to be normal anymore. It's going to be a new norm because now you're dealing with basically heaven on earth. That's a whole different platform that you're working at, that we're working on. When you're talking about development is change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go to church all your life to be the same. Just like you don't go to school all your life to be the same. You have to learn. Like, your language begins to change and you begin to enunciate. You begin to pronounce things differently. You begin to look at life differently. You wind up getting different mentors in different areas, and they begin to, like, pour into you. They begin to teach you different things. You start to use those things. So now you're not thinking the same way that you once did. So when you're in these areas or these realms, man, you're supposed to, like, you're supposed to get there and you're moving. So that's why you have the prayer warriors. They pray to keep you safe. They pray to keep you where you are. They done been through it already, so they know what to set up to make sure that you're protected. You have just like if you have an army, you have a team, you keep it where, ain't nobody to get into this area, period. Like, all this is God's children. Everybody that want to do whatever they want to do over there. So when God get back, when he come back, and then he's doing judgment, like, everything is set the way it needs to be. If you want to be wild, be wild. If you want to be nasty, be nasty. If you're going to be holy, just be holy still. You know what I'm saying? Like, do that until, you know what I'm saying, he comes. Like, God is not about forcing anything on anybody. That's why when you see him knocking on the door, there's no knob. You have to let him in, or you can put him out. You know what I'm saying? So when you have to tell yourself, so we captivate every thought, make it obedient to Christ, and we will be ready to punish every act of disobedience once your obedience is complete. So that's him saying, as long as you do what I tell you to do, as long as you stand up, as long as you work, you know what I'm saying, as long as you continue to push forward, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to make sure you all right. I'm going to make sure that you eat. I'm going to make sure you get what you want, because you are doing everything that I'm asking you to do. So if you be faithful over a little, God will give you what? Many. He'll give you plenty, because you've been faithful over a little. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the areas that you're looking at when we begin to move. But a lot of times, like, they mess up in the area of, like how I say in 7, you are judging by appearance. Y'all looking at the appearance of a person. God is spirit. He's humbly present. Like, he's a spirit man. So you're looking at the appearance of somebody, and you making judgment. Then God give us all kinds of ways to, like, help. So he blessed us to be a blessing. So he give to us to be a blessing, to give to others, to teach others, to grow, to develop. That's the whole point. That's why, like, one of the things I leave with a lot of times, or I leave with, for instance, what I mean when I'm saying I leave, like, as I get ready to come to a close here, I leave with, he didn't come for religion. He came to fulfill the law. So it's a lifestyle. Then when you get to Revelations, like, 22, you know what I'm saying? When you get to Revelations 22, it talks about, like, there's no more curses. So you really got to watch what you're saying, because now we're giving power. So you got power of restoration, or to restore. So, like, we can speak blessings. So we can speak mind be healed. We can speak heart be healed. We can speak body be healed. We can speak bones be healed. We can speak live. We can speak life. Because the word kill it, the spirit give it life. That's why we're supposed to study the word of God. You know what I'm saying? That's why we study the word of God. So I pray that I've noted and gave you guys information that encourage you today to move forward and everything. As far as, like, the kingdom goes, we're moving in every direction, so we have everything as far as everything goes, because, you know what I'm saying, God owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. All silver and gold is his, you know what I'm saying? So when you're doing these things, people like to make fun. Like, they like to make fun, they like to make jokes, they like to do all kinds of things. But there's a lot that goes on. So, for instance, it's kind of like chess. Like, we're a big team, but it's kind of like chess. When you're talking about money, they don't want to lose their position. When you're talking about money and coming into a place of money, when you send in a proposal, the way it's supposed to go, like, I wrote a proposal, you send a proposal to them, then they're not allowed to use that information based on the information you put at the bottom of it. Based on, like, what was your, like, basically your conclusion or how you make up the letter. They can't use this information unless they, you know, so basically give you the blessing. That's the whole point, because even God said a workman is worthy of his hire. And then when they get into a place where a man robbed God, you have robbed me. He said, wherein with have you robbed me? In tithes and an offering. But there's other areas that people bring up a lot of times. It's like, well, you got this going on or this is here, but they not living like this over there, you know? So that's the whole point of like where I'm at is like we all blessed. Like blessings going to everybody, you know what I'm saying? So we got the Byzantine Empire. Got a lot of things going on with that because I tend to focus on like staying away from a lot of negative things. So when I look at these things, the 10 lost tribes and everything, the Byzantine Empire as it was in Istanbul, then I begin to understand that they were the best at everything. So even within the trades and marketing and the building and all of the above, you know, that's was more or less like, okay, we're sending, it's kind of like this, we're going to send my son and a third, or my son and this amount of people, or this amount of people or a nation to the United States of America, and that's going to make up the United States of America. It's more like when I start to look at it from the eyes of like, there's a lot of wash. So I start looking at it from like this purity level, just to cut through everything. It's like, that was one of the things. One of the things was for the people to gain knowledge, for the people to expand the horizon, to broaden your territory. Now the Bible talks about he gave them to possess the land. So the 10 tribes make up the United States of America. That makes up Judah. So when that makes up Judah, then the head or the tribe of Judah would be the son of basically the Most High. That's what you're dealing with. So when you looking at it and you're moving around, it's so much going on that we begin to like, you know, the devil trying to keep hold and do these different things. So I'll get more into that on my next video, but I really want to take the time to kind of like reiterate what's going on, us as a people. So much as like some things are designed as slavery and different things of that nature, but sometimes we really don't know. And what I mean by we really don't know is, sometimes we dealing with situations where the original thing was go conquer, or we're gonna put y'all in this region to broaden the territory because we've gotten too full where we are, and then they may have been faced with hostiles or something of that nature. You see what I'm saying? When you dealing with the hostiles and different things of that nature, then it's like that's not what everything was for. You see what I'm saying? It was hostiles. So when you're dealing with hostiles or somebody taking over or fighting, that means you went into an area, this was the goal, and then this happened along the way. So you have to be able to understand these different things, but yet not taking away the factuals of the things that has happened throughout the time, but understanding from the purity of God, but yet in a sense like not taking your foot off of the understanding of this happened. This how this happened. So this is why like it's time to come back. Like we got our own empire. So we got our own money, we got our own team, we got our own everything. We got our own professional teams. We got our own youth team, got our own schools, got our own lawyers, got our own doctors, got our own everything you can think of. We have our own. Everything that pretty much the United States of America uses is ours. Matter of fact, the United States of America is, it's weird to say these things the way that, like, it's better words to, like, basically say, and I'll go and I'll basically configure language wise a little bit smoother so that to get the point across. But I think I'm getting the point across quite clear. I'm making it very, very plain so that even a fool can err. So in that, it's our territory. But a lot of the complaints used to be, they want us to do this, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to work for nothing. They're just like, we've been working all our life. What are you talking about? Like, one of the things that I had got from somebody was, like, you got to work like I work. Like, I'm like, you don't know what I've been doing. I've been working my whole life. Like, I didn't just jump up one day and I was just this. I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I may have not been fully aware of the totality of the empire, what the empire is, how far we've come, how far we've gone, where are we going. Like, I may not have known, like, all of that, but I've been working it the whole time. So when it comes down to it, it's just kind of like, nah, I've been doing this all my life. I didn't just start this. I'm just coming of understanding of, okay, Byzantine Empire. These are the people that was in the house that led the house. These are the families that rule and Minister of Defense. And now I'm understanding more of what I have to work with. Now I'm understanding my knowledge of what's going on. And even within, when it said we're supposed to take it to the elders of the church, because we have our own system. We have our own law system. We have our own way of taking care of things, so we don't actually have to do that way. So it's not a situation where what we do disobeys their law. It's like heavenly family and world. You know what I'm saying? So when you put the two together, now you got heaven on earth. Now everything goes under God. Because even within the United States of America, in God we trust. You see what I'm saying? So when you coming into these areas now, it's like, okay, this is where we are, this is what we're doing, this is the point, let's do this. So we begin to move. And when we take position, it's just like, it's our house, take position, but it's not a situation where it's like we spinning around. Like, we not spinning no more, so to speak, other than like switching out personnel, bouncing around from place to place, switching out personnel, you know what I'm saying, moving in these different areas, going into a holy area, and then deeming that as the area, and then, you know what I'm saying, capping it off, different things of that nature. But you have a nation. That's what the whole nation was built on. So when you get that far in, you understand that that's what the whole nation is built on. Then, like, there's a point of becoming the head of the church, or the angel of the church, you know what I'm saying? Then you get to a place where you start to really understand, like, kind of what the Queen of New England is, or what the UK is, or what the UN is, and what the USA is, you know what I'm saying? Then when you start to study to show thyself rightly dividing the word of truth, then people start pouring into you. You have the power to do this. So you're not just talking. It ain't no yanking. It's this is what we doing. This is how we're working. This is our whole MO. We focus on what we supposed to focus on. Like we got blinders. So we short, quick, and to the point. Then we quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. So we understand everything. When you're understanding everything, and you take the time and you taking the Lord with you along the way. If somebody needs some help, then help them. That's what we got the funds for. That's what all the money is for. Help them. Develop the things. Work the things. But we do understand like history and different things of this nature. So it's like a puzzle sometimes. And you have to figure out the puzzle or the crossword puzzle, so to speak. So then it's like, okay, I was checking out a car, and I'm gonna leave you guys with this. And like, so right now I'm looking to, you know what I'm saying, to also be a blessing, and like basically buy the car and work the kingdom the way it's supposed to be worked, because I'm in need of a vehicle. So the guy wants like basically 9,000 for the truck. So I'm looking to raise more than 9,000 because I need more than 9,000 for the truck. But when I really look at it and go to God, he didn't sent me into a whole different realm. So he didn't say direction is White House. And my first response, a lot of times, that like even with everybody else's, God, that's the White House, man. That's the Oval Office. And he like, yeah, I understand. I know that. That's your house. Okay. And Father, can you just give me more information? Yeah. Yep. That's the house. That's where the BYZANTINE Empire is gonna be at. And then you're gonna also have, you know what I'm saying, Eastern Boo, which is, you know what I'm saying, the BYZANTINE Empire that was basically that crumbled and come back. So now we got the BYZANTINE Empire throughout the nation, which in reality is kind of like it goes with the 400 years and 86 past that to develop out of it, and now we basically dispatched out. So when you have like the powers and you got the